In this video, I'd like to show you how bulk provisioning using CSV files simplifies the management of users in WebEx calling. First, I want to quickly discuss the benefits. Then you will see the export operation of the CSV template and how to bulk create users using this template. And finally, I will demonstrate how to export all existing users. Bulk user provisioning using CSV files simplifies the provisioning of users as well as maintenance operations. Especially when a large number of users have to be created or updated, then the time savings are immense. Automation also helps to avoid mistakes, which further contributes to the time savings. Migration scenarios are one example where bulk provisioning can be used to increase efficiency. Typical use cases for CSV-based bulk provisioning include creating users, updating settings for multiple users, for example, updating caller ID information, and enabling batches of existing users for WebEx calling. In addition to the CSV-based bulk operations, WebEx calling offers REST-based APIs which enable direct programmatic provisioning of users for WebEx calling. For basic user provisioning, the People and the Licenses API are used. The latter mainly to determine the license IDs for entitlements to be added to users via the People API. Documentation for both APIs can be found on developer.webex.com. In this demo, we are using a WebEx customer with no users provisioned. In the calling section in Control Hub, you can see that we have already set up a WebEx calling location with some phone numbers which later can be assigned to WebEx calling users. We also see an extension which has been assigned to the voicemail profile of that location. To export the template, in the Users view in Control Hub, you select the Manage Users option in the top right. Then we click on the CSV Add or Modify Users panel in the middle, skip over the screen with the information that welcome emails will be sent to new users, and then in the Manage User screen at the top, there's a link to initiate the download of the template for CSV-based bulk user operations. The downloaded CSV template then can be reviewed in the editor of your choice. We will review the columns in more detail when importing users. To create a set of users, the user details are entered into the template we just downloaded. In addition to first and last name and email addresses for the WebEx calling users, we also have to define the extension or phone number or both for each user. In the next column, the numeric caller ID for each user can be set. For users with a phone number, typically the user's phone number is used. For users without a phone number, you would typically put the location's main number. The textual caller ID information can be defined, followed by the name of the location the user resides in. The next column relevant for WebEx calling is the calling behavior column. This column allows to define how calls from within the WebEx app are handled. In most cases, you would set this to use org setting so that the user inherits the calling behavior setting applied at the organization level, but other values are also possible. WebEx calling allows to configure a separate external caller ID name per user. This can be achieved by setting the external caller ID name policy to other and then specifying the custom external caller ID name in the next column. Setting the calling plan column to true indicates that this user is consuming an outbound calling plan as part of the Cisco calling plan configured as the PSTN for the calling user's location. Finally, you need to select the WebEx calling license for the user by setting either the var basic or the var professional column to true. With this CSV, we can now initiate the bulk user creation. The process starts in the user page in Control Hub. Here you select Manage Users, click the CSV Add or Modify Users panel in the middle, and skip over the reminder that new users will receive a welcome email. Then you click Import and pick the CSV file to be used for the import operation. At the bottom of the dialog, you find an option to select whether you only want to add services or also remove services if the respective column in the CSV is set to false. The default is to only add services. You can leave the default when adding users. Clicking Next creates the import task, and the progress of the import task can be monitored. After completion of the import task, the new users show up in the user view in Control Hub, and checking the Numbers tab in the calling section in Control Hub shows the number and extension assignment of the users just created. Finally, to export all users from the user view in Control Hub, you again select Manage Users, and then in the CSV Add or Modify Users panel in the middle, select the Export User List option. The export is then prepared, and the download of the CSV starts when the data is ready. You can edit or update the exported CSV and use it to update the settings of your existing users. Thanks for watching.